Welcome to the Young Turks Iowa Caucus special coverage tonight. Live, Jane Cougar, Ben Mankiewicz, Wes Clark Jr. will be joining us later. JR producing, Jesus directing. Everybody get ready.
Is that what they do in Iowa? Does somebody actually blow a bugle to say the caucus rooms are open?
Yes. Now, they're not open yet. Hold. They open in half an hour. Half an hour left. They're coming.
So
they're coming.
6:30 they open in Iowa? Is that the deal?
6:30 Iowa time.
Right.
They will open, and they will be flooded by tens, maybe dozens of Iowa caucus goers.
Yeah, I just think it looks like from on the Republican side that the rural rapists really turned out for Mike Huckabee.
Well, look, by the way, with 40% of the precincts reporting, Huckabee's lead is at least smaller. It's now 31-23. That does make a slight difference. At 16%, it's a blowout. At 8%, okay, he beat Romney comfortably, but it's not a blowout. Oh, we got a gavel. Well, that's strong language, Ben.
It's 7:18 in Phoenix. I'm prepared to. I'm prepared, not the networks. I'm going to call it.
Wow, we have a call.
Yeah, Barack Obama's going to win the Iowa caucus.
Wow, there it is.
We are
/ maybe not.
No. It's been a steady climb since those first numbers. We're pushing 60% now. Of the votes are in. In fact, we're over 60%. We're coming in on 70%. That lead has done nothing but increase. It's now a 3.5% lead with over 60% of the precincts reporting. He's going to win. It's a question. I don't know whether he's going to win by 2, 3, 4, 5, but he's going to win, and that's a very big story. And the race for second between Hillary and John Edwards is still too close to call, with Edwards slightly ahead at this point.
I'm calling it. Edwards with the 0.22% lead over Hillary Clinton will come in second.
That's bolder. That's bolder, no question.
No, I'm playing. Seriously,
Bill Richardson will finish fourth.
That is definitely true.
I really see Hillary as 1990 Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson in her prime. I mean, she's the favorite. It was going to be hard to beat her, and
I gotta tell you, I thought that last summer. I didn't think that since September or October.
Well, and let me finish it out, and then because I'm curious. There's an excellent chance I'm wrong, but just that she clearly can be beaten. Buster Douglas beat Mike Tyson, but he had to knock him down 3 times. And, you can't – she's not done. You don't knock her out with one punch. You're going to have to come back and knock her down again, and you're going to have to eventually knock out her mouthpiece, and she's going to have to be crawling around the floor in South Carolina trying to find her mouthpiece.
I think this night might have been historic, and because – I was, at least in my mind, a third of what determines president. And Obama had a convincing victory here. So he's on his way. Doesn't mean he's going to win. It doesn't, but he just won a third of the relevant portion of this campaign. So, and the Democrat is definitely more likely to win than the Republican, much more likely. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it is more likely. So tonight, we might have seen the beginning of what will be our first black president.
Yeah,
okay. And that's not a small thing.
Our first real black president, as opposed to every single black president we've had in film and TV for the last 20 years.
That's right. Well, Dennis Haysbert wasn't president, so you've told me. By the way, that's the big picture and incredibly significant. The little picture, and I don't want to suggest as we finish up here that we misrepresented things. Fred Thompson back up by 300 votes. Over John McCain. So
Fred Thompson doesn't stand a chance.
No, I'm just talking about how well it goes. McCain finishing third only gives him a little more. It's meaningless for Thompson. It is arguably a little
Thompson,
meaningful for McCain.
Biden, Richardson, Ron Paul, Kucinich, everybody.
Ron Paul's going to stay in through Super Tuesday.
Oh no, he will because he's getting money.
Right, but there's other guys. Again, we can stop including them in the debates and everything else.
Yeah, it's. Ron Paul is at 10%, so all you Dr. Ron Paul fans. And he did not come into third. He did not meet, it appears, did not beat McCain or Thompson. But it's a good, healthy showing. And a lot of these guys will drop out, and guys like Ron Paul never drop out. So you never know. Maybe he'll get up to 15%.
He might.
Yeah.
Is there any percentage where Ron Paul becomes relevant?
Oh, but how about this? Come on, let's
40%
throw.
he'd be relevant.
But let me. Can I fantasize?
Sure.
he stays around 6 to 7% in the primaries in a lot of states, 12 in a case, does 16 in a state here and there.
He's going to do good in Texas.
And then he's so disenchanted with the party. And he runs as an independent. Then it's done. It's done.
That's the anti-Bloomberg.
It's the anti-Bloomberg. It's the anti-Nader.
He splits the Republican vote.
He takes 5%.
It's good night,
And it's
Irene.
done.
I bet he doesn't. He won't do that.
Oh, I said it's a fantasy. Fantasy.
No,
fantasy. I just had it was just a great moment.
And
I just
by
thought
the-
it for a moment.
And by the way, he would also take votes from the Democrat because he's so anti-war. And there's a lot. Those
No.
Ron Paul supporters are rabid.
I gotta say,
no, but-
I think he'll take 5% from the Democrats and take 10% from the
No,
Republicans.
he wouldn't take 5% from the Democrats.
no,
way.
he'll take some from, because I had a conversation with some of my neighbors yesterday. They're like, "Yeah, what about Ron Paul?
He kind of.
He's like against the war and stuff." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Do you realize he wants to make abortion illegal?"
Yeah,
I'm
and-
like, "What?"
He kind of racist. So it ain't gonna fly.
Right. Eventually it won't.
Yeah, it won't. Eventually, it won't fly.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, guys, here we are at 8 o'clock our time, 11 o'clock Eastern.
9 in Phoenix,
No.
according to our clock.
9 in Phoenix. And I think we're done. I think we've had a great night, a fascinating night.
You know what we should do?
What's that?
We should do the morning show right now, and then we'll just cut it up with commercials, and we can sleep in tomorrow.
There's an
No
idea.
one's gonna know the fucking difference.
All right. Well, we likely won't take that advice, and we will be back live tomorrow morning, Wes and I, on theyoungturks.com and on Air America as well. So tune in for that tomorrow at 6 to 9 a.m. Eastern. Ben Mankiewicz, thank you so much for joining us.
Good to be here, buddy.
That was great stuff. And Barack Obama, your big winner, possibly your historic winner on the Democratic side, and Huckabee, the winner on the Republican side, with John McCain surging.
Third
Yep.
place, Hillary.
Third place, Hillary. That might be the biggest news of all. We'll see you tomorrow. Young Turks.